At a time where they could have spoken to anyone, they called me by name. I was a young virgin that was thirsty for the fame. I was a young, beautiful girl that had niggas enticed by the way that she moves her curves, but they called me by name. I think if I squatted enough today, I would have become a modern day slay queen, but they called me by name. I think if I worked hard enough today, I would have been educated and chitted in radio, if not sniffing cocaine, but they called me by name. They said, come here, dear child, for you are ours and you are ours to use. I said, I don't know who you are, but I know that I'm an artist, therefore you cannot treat me like a muse. They set me down. I'm speaking of my ancestors. They told me that this is what we're going to bring unto you, but you just have to allow yourself to be, give yourself room, and we'll build house inside of you. I wasn't ready. I don't think anyone ever is. But that is when it came out to me that my ancestors called me by name, the spirit now hither lives. They told me I'd be sky. I still don't get how or why. But they said that they would raise me from the deepest pits of my enemies' footsteps, where they had tried to trample me and bury me right after they took my mother away from me. But my ancestors said, you have to believe. They took off my shoes. Bankai sniff. They told me that there'll be times when you get into this route and you'll be unable to behave. That's because there's more of us inside of you. Multiple personalities. But don't you ever listen to them, and don't you ever chase the new. Do it for the healing of your people, and do it so well that they will forever respect you. These ancestors called me by name. These spirits called me by name. They told me that yes, bonke bayadlala, but you were here to change the game. And life was never the same. I'm not trying to drag it out, but if I do, then maybe I should hake it out, because I found fish in my waters and now I'm eating it out. But these spirits called out my name. I was young. I didn't know what I was agreeing to, but I knew that every time they beat the drum, I would dance to my own tune. I was young. I didn't know what I was agreeing to, but I knew that if they told me to envision where the cow would be, then I would have to find it, and I would never ever mislead myself. I didn't know what I was getting into. And that's how I tattooed the word on my skin so that I can prove it's true. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I became a modern day intellectual sangoma that doesn't really like shoes. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I became a modern day sangoma that doesn't wear beads, although my veins remain my beads, and that's how the words keep on being released from the heart deep down inside of me, because these spirits, these ancestors, they call me by name. They chose me at a time where they could have chosen anybody in the family, but they chose a sky to carry the heights of changing the game. I'm not just a normal human being. I'm a vessel from my ancestors' prayers, wishes, and hopes for Noktula's daughter. I am not just a normal human being. I am a goddess. Nginamandla, and a lot don't wish to bow down to me, but they will be forced to, because I am not a normal human being. I'm an African goddess that has been chosen to be. And I am happy to carry the thorn-filled crown. I am happy to carry the cross until I can shove it upside down. It's not a burden. Although for now it seems like it is one, but it'll carry me just as much as I'm carrying it, until I get to that beautiful place where I will see the rising of my sun. Because these ancestors, these spirits, they call me by name, and that's how we know that I am no mistake.